My BF is going to propose. But I do not feel loved anymore and am questioning the relationship. My BF 29M and I 29F have been together for a very long time. We dated from the time we're 16 to 22. We then broke up for a while but got back together when we were 25. We are both 29 now. We live together and I know he's going to ask me to marry him soon, so I want to get my feelings in order before anything happens. I love him, I really do, but I feel sorta unloved. I know once couples become comfortable with each other and live together, the spark or whatever dies, but I don't like feeling like this. I still make an effort. I ask him how his day went. I'm affectionate, I put out, so to speak. A thing that really bothers me is when I say something, a lot of the time, he ignores me. When I bring it up, he says that he didn't hear me or that he was busy. For example, I'll say, "Did you see there's going to be a strike tomorrow?" And I won't get a reply. I'll wait 10 seconds, still no reply. Then I'll ask, "Hello? Did you hear what I said?" And he'll go or grunt in response. He does this often, just abrupt responses after ignoring me and me having to repeat myself. I'd understand if he did this if I was talking his ear off, but I'm not even a talkative person. Yet when he talks about anything, I pay attention, respond properly, validate his opinions and reassure him when he needs me to. Affection-wise, I always give him hugs and kisses. He hardly ever does this anymore without me asking. I compliment him and tell him that he looks handsome. He hasn't complimented me in any shape or form in probably over a year now that I think about it. I still look the same looks-wise. I haven't gained weight or anything, not that that's a reason to stop loving someone, but you know how some people are, so I don't know what changed. Have things just become stale? Is this what inevitably happens? This whole situation has been troubling me for a while, but I'm not sure what to do. Our anniversary is in 2 months' time and his sister accidentally let it slip that he's going to propose. If it weren't for that, I'd think that we've been together for too long and he's now sick of me. I tried talking to a few of my friends who are already married and all I got were varied versions of "that's how men are." He wasn't like this before. He would pay attention to me, talk to me, and overall I just felt more liked, you know? Now it just kind of feels one-sided. The one time I attempted to kind of bring it up, I opened with, "Do you still like me?" Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it, and he replied with, "If I didn't like you, why would I be here?" I could tell it was going to end up in an argument, so I just let it go after that. How do I handle this situation? I want to bring it up with him, but I don't know how to do it. I guess I'm not really good at articulating how I feel. Or should I not say anything because this is just the way relationships go? Please advise me because I'm a little lost.
Relevant comments. Commenter. You can't have an honest conversation about this without it turning into an argument? Red flag. Am I correct in guessing that this is a pattern, and whenever he doesn't want to discuss something difficult, you know it'll turn into an argument, so you just drop it? If so, red flag. My partner just proposed to me less than a week ago, and I can promise you that your friends are just in unfulfilling relationships. I call my Phineas a literal angel every chance I get, because he is. Your dude feels comfortable and doesn't feel the need to put in any effort anymore. Could be because he's just going through the motions and he isn't really that into the relationship anymore. Could be because he doesn't feel like once you get to a certain point in a relationship, effort flies out the window. Neither scenario is good or how things should be. I think it's worth trying to speak with him again about it, but definitely don't commit to marrying this dude before you have an honest conversation.
OP. Whenever I try to talk about feelings or things we need to work on in our relationship, no matter how carefully I choose my words, he will take it as an attack and turn it into an argument or just shut down completely and refuse to talk. Congratulations on your proposal. I think my situation definitely is a no more effort sort of thing. I know I have to talk to him now. I guess I'm just scared and nervous about the outcome.
Android is for life. My ex, who I did become engaged to, was like this. Just completely uninterested in me, unaffectionate and not plugged into what was happening in my life. Some men are like this, but not you, and that's fine. My current partner, it's like chalk and cheese. I got all the things I was told I was asking too much for before. We will snuggle and cuddle all night, hold hands while watching TV, cook together and chat and laugh and be silly.
OP. Yes. That's exactly my situation. But he wasn't like this before. He was sweet and affectionate and interested before. I don't know how I got to this point. Maybe it happened so gradually that I didn't notice until it was completely changed? I'm so happy you found an amazing partner like that. Update. I thought I'd provide an update. Thank you all for the advice, I appreciate it. So the day after I posted here, I talked to him. I told him that I feel a bit disconnected and I'd like it if he paid more attention to me and talked to me a little more. He just said okay, but I could tell that he wasn't interested. The next day, there was no change and I was a bit annoyed, so I spoke to him again. I said that I'm starting to feel lonely in the relationship and I feel like he ignores me and isn't affectionate as he used to be before. But all he said was that he didn't want to talk about it. I said that it was important and that I might want to end things if we can't talk about this. Only then did he actually pay attention. He said that he ignores me because he's tired. I understand that work is tiring, but he practically ignores me all the time, and as far as the affection and attention, he said, I don't know. Things just change, you know? I explained that I understood all of that, but I needed more, that maybe it was unreasonable for me to want that and maybe the type of relationship I want doesn't exist, but I would not be happy in this relationship if things stayed this way. He then said he'd try more. That he'd hug me every morning before work, try to respond more when I spoke and give me a compliment now and then. I didn't like how it felt like a list of chores he had to do, but at least he was willing to try, so I agreed. I also asked if there was anything I could work on for him, but he said there was nothing he could think of. By the end of the first week he already seemed annoyed with the hugging. He'd let out a big sigh and it seemed like he was doing it begrudgingly. This felt awful for me, like I'm forcing this man to give me a crumb of affection. But at least he was doing it, I guessed. My breaking point happened last weekend when we were getting ready to go to a party. It was his friend's party and it was a fancy affair, so I had to get really dressed up. His niece and her BF were also going but came to our place because she needed help with her hair. She has gorgeous but length hair and wanted to curl it. As soon as her BF saw her after getting ready, he said, "Wow. You look so beautiful. You look like a mermaid," and hugged her. No prompting, no asking, he just did it. That's when my BF called me aside and said, "I guess I have to compliment you now, right?" That was it for me. I said that I was feeling sick and needed to go to the bathroom. We were all supposed to leave together, but I stalled for a few minutes and told them I was sorry and they should leave, and if, when I felt better, we'd meet them there. As soon as they left, I spoke to him. I said that I was sorry I wasted his time and I was so sorry that I didn't notice all of this sooner. I said that I appreciate his effort, and even though he was doing what I asked, it was not enough for me. I don't want to feel like a chore for someone. I understand that the honeymoon period / puppy love thing doesn't last forever, but I want someone to just like me, you know? To like me naturally and instinctively, as a person. After explaining that, I told him that I was sorry again and that I was ending things. He started freaking out and told me to think about it some more, but I was sure of my choice. He then said that he understands and he's sorry and asked if I would still go with him to the party as our last night out, and also because he was going to be embarrassed to go alone. I felt bad cause I didn't mean to do this on this day and I didn't want to leave him hanging, so I agreed. I really didn't want to, but I went and we managed to keep up appearances. Then in the middle of dinner, he proposed. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do and felt trapped. I didn't want to embarrass him or myself, so I said yes. Everybody was congratulating us and I was in hell. It all felt so awful and it was difficult to not start crying out of frustration. In addition to us technically being broken up, he knows I hate being the center of attention in public like that. When we got home, I asked how he could do such a thing. How could he put me in such a terrible position? He said, "I thought maybe proposing would change your mind." I said that it didn't and I just said yes because it would have been awkward if I hadn't. I gave him the ring back, packed some of my stuff and left. He was freaking out asking me what he was going to tell everyone, but I told him to say whatever he wants. That I changed my mind? I'm flaky? Whatever. I was emotionally exhausted and didn't care anymore. I feel awful and I wish I could have handled that whole situation better or smarter, but I panicked and now we're here. Everyone is probably going to think I'm a jerk, but I honestly didn't know what to do. Anyway, things are over now and I'm staying with my sister until I gather my bearings. He's been texting me, trying to convince me to reconsider. I honestly feel a little lost because he's the only BF I've ever had and he was such a big part of my life, but I know I made the right choice.
Relevant comments. Katsukitsu Yuri. My jaw dropped and my hand clapped over my mouth when I read that he proposed. The fucking audacity. He did it to manipulate you. What am I going to tell them? Like, dude, you made this mess. Fuck around and find out. I'm so glad you didn't actually follow through with staying with him after saying yes. I'm so proud of you for leaving.
OP. I didn't want to say yes, but there were so many people there. It was a very big party in a fancy hall and everyone was looking at me expectantly. To be honest, I didn't even speak when he proposed. I froze for what seemed like ages, then eventually just nodded. Thank you.
Razmoon. Wow. Huge bullet dodged. I can't believe that he pulled that stunt. I initially thought that you would feign sickness and urge the other three to go without you. Oh well. If there are any people that matter to you within the friend group, tell them what happened. I for one think you did the right thing by moving out. Just bring someone with you when you get your things, quicker and safer. See if you can do it when you know that he won't be there.